Okay, so broker will provide fund to you, so that is what we call like margin. Okay, and so another one is the demat account. Okay, so you would have seen this process. Okay, so while opening the trading account, will have to open the demat account as well. So it means he will have to open two accounts, correct? So one is demat and another one is trading. And under trading account, so you can see the segment. So you can activate that as per your requirement. Suppose if you are interested in intraday, then you can activate that. If you are interested in delivery, then you can activate that, or else other the one including FX market, commodity, and also you can activate that. Those are even sub accounts. Okay, those are even sub accounts. And that is like option that you have. If you want to activate, then you can. If you don't want, that is fine. Okay. So we'll focus on this one. Okay. Let's say we when we talk about India, we have a NSDL and another one is CDSL, National Securities Depository Limited and Central Depository Security Limited. National NSDL and CDSL both have the same functions, but the central okay, so National Depository even provide facility to the international investors as well. So CDSL is purely for a domestic investor, and as well as even you can opt the facility from NSDL as well. But the NSDL, so even suppose if there are investors from United States or UK or other countries, so they will have to open the account with NSDL, because National Securities Depository Limited. Why? That is also important. Okay. So hope you have heard about the Harshad Mehta scandal, right? In 1993, there was a big scandal uh, happened in the stock market, and why that happened? Because there wasn't like the depository system was exist where you can submit your securities to the depositor for a safekeeping purpose, where depositor can provide safety to your securities. And even at the moment there wasn't like this the trading encrypted, or I would say the digital platform available where the digitally securities can be converted into electronic format, and you can transfer the securities to the NSDL or CDSL where they can provide the safety to your securities. There wasn't the facility what does exist recently, that we have seen lots of the revolutions has been happened in this no, the capital market industry. Okay, so if there was no demat account facility, then broker was used to carry entire securities with them, and here was the chances to what I would say for insider trading. Insider trading. How? I'll tell you. In the history, erstwhile, even you can go back and check it, there was a period for a settlement which was T plus 7. Now it is like T plus 2, right? So when it was T plus 2, sorry, T plus 7, so it means broker had a 7 days to short the security to the other traders or other investors or other buyer and sellers. For example, you have request for buying. On the same date, they can collect the securities from the seller, correct? Because the securities at the moment was in physical format. Their executive uh, they had to go there on the location and collect the securities from the that XYZ counterparty, and they had to keep with them. And later on, like they had a almost period of 6 days. So within that, they used to use these securities to participate in insider trading or intraday trading. So where uh, there was participating in short selling and short buying process, and due to that, this the big scandal happened. So it means there was a huge risk was involved in the process just because there was no one as a depositor who can provide safety to the investments. Correct? This is the first funda, safety, right? So another. Then later on, this the landmark decision taken by the regulatory bodies in India. So they decided, why can't we provide facility like two accounts to the investor, one which would be demat account and one which would be trading accounts. So if the investor uh, opt for a delivery, then that security should be transferred to the demat account from his trading account or from the XYZ counterparty's demat account to demat account. Okay. Okay. Then yeah, so approval received and this the law or the rules has been enacted, and finally we have a facility like trading account for a that this segment intraday delivery, sorry, the derivatives and all, and the demat account which is for a delivery, delivery and cash. Okay. Again, okay. So the point is you had a question. So how can we, why the custodian will come into picture and why we are depositing maybe the 10,000 quantity or other the promoter's quantity, entire quantity in the custodian's account, right? See, these are the just bodies, okay? These are just bodies. It means these are just regulatory bodies. Actually, they are not working as an SDL and all. So they have given this franchisee that would say, or this license, or maybe they have given this their entire business to someone who can manage this entire mess up on behalf of them as an SDL and CDSL. Correct? So it means their organizations they will work as a custodians. So it means actually, so the meaning of the custody is like to take the charge or to take the ownership to provide the safety and security to aid investment as per the definition of custody. Okay, and just because of that they have their own charges. Like for per delivery they charge 15 rupees or 20 rupees, whether it could be buy and sell, that doesn't matter for them. I'm talking about India, but in foreign, and that is what we don't have any custodian, right? Who is the India's custodian? We don't have any custodian because the NSDL and CDSL are there and they are working as a custodian for us. But when we talk about UK, US and all, so like BNY, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, CT, they are working as a custodian, right? They are providing custody to the securities, right? Anyways, again the point is, if you are a large investor or you are a big investor, you have a crores of securities in your account, then how can you manage a demat account? Definitely, you need someone who can provide this end-to-end security to your investment, right? Or else who can again play the vital role to, to process the securities on behalf of you to the respective counterparty. Correct? Okay. So when we talk about India, so these are the NSDL and CDSL are there. But again, the point is whenever you buy something here with the demat accounts, let's say you have entered into the delivery segment and you have purchased the securities of HDFC Limited, the quantity is 100, the price that you can say, okay, let's say 10, and the amount would be here. This is the amount. This is the contract that we have purchased it at the moment. When you purchase on a T plus 2, T plus to, or even this could be happened within that as well, or sometime even it's take more than this. But as per the rule, on a T plus 2 or before the T plus 2, the broker is entitled to process the security from a respective counterpart's account to in your demat account, right? But actually this is not a job of that broker, because broker is only entitled to deal with this trading account. Then what this broker can do, right? So broker what can do, because see, in every trade there would be definitely one is buyer, correct, and one is seller. The same way the buyer will have a demat account with, let's say, NSDL, and again the CDSL will have an account with okay, the B has a, let's say B has a account with CDSL, right? Or it could be again same NSDL. Just I'm giving you this example in a different way, okay? So now broker what can do? Only broker send the instructions to the custodian. So it means in the India, like they send the instructions to the NSDL and CDSL, and that is what, if you have a demat account, you would have experienced it. When you request for a sell, so it asks us for a OTP. So once you authenticate that, so that notification goes to the NSDL, and even the brokers send the same data to the NSDL to transfer this securities from the B's account to, from B's account to A's account. Because in this case, the B sold this security of HDFC Limited, the quantity of 1000 with the price and this, and the custodian will, or the NSDL, they will have to accept this order in the A's account. Okay. This happened for all the including promoters and all. Okay. So the point is again from a promoter's point of view. Suppose HDFC Limited have a 1 lakh securities, total securities I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. So they have their 1 lakh securities in the market. Still, they will have to open their demat account, or I would say HDF, by the name of HDFC Limited, they will have to open the account with NSDL, either CDSL, and it's a mandatory in India. Like it's a mandatory. Okay, it's not like crypto market. There is no middleman between the you and sailor, so you will have to carry that crypto coins with you by your own. That is not uh, the case in the capital market or the country like India. So we have NSDL and CDSL, so it means we'll have to open our entities account or else even promoters account. Okay. So in the first case, once you open the accounts with this, you can, because after all you will have to allocate the securities when you participate in IPO or when they list their securities on a stock exchange platform. So it means they will have to allocate the securities to the different investors, right? Do you agree with this? Okay. So suppose let's say out of 1 lakh, so promoter they kept with them around 40,000, because 40% or it should be or more than that they will have to keep with them, only the least portion that they will have to sell it in the market. Okay, so in the first program, because they cannot dilute more than 50 or more than 60% at one attempt. Slowly and steadily they can dilute their stake. And suppose let's say in a first attempt they have announced to this offer, the 60,000 securities in the market. So who can participate in the this program? As I mentioned, the demat account, SDFC also required their own demat account with the NSDL and CDSL, and even promoters also required their own accounts with the CDSL, right? Uh, So here, suppose in the process of IPO, there was a subscription received from the, let's say, Northern Trust, or let's say Blackstone. Blackstone is hedge fund again. Okay. because here that you know nothing gonna be happen at the moment initial stage. Okay, because after all, if you have a plan to issue the securities, then you can do it individually. Even you can sell it individually, because here in the also promoter category that you can see a number of promoters like A, B, C, D, right? And there could be many, depends. This securities will be also allocated to their promoters account, so that even you can allocate it if you want. So Blackstone, let's say, then ICIC, Axis Mutual Fund, and then maybe the retail investors, and then again Blackstone, Axis, HNIs, let's say highly net worth individuals, or you can take a name of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala alias Damani. Jhunjhunwala. Okay, so here also it's a mandatory to have a demat account with them, right? If they don't have a demat account, then how they will receive that, or how they will take that advantage of this particular IPO benefit and all, right? Because trading account, you cannot park the positions on a trading account for a more than 2 days, because there is a provision, right, for a 2 days, or like if it is a BTST order and all, like buy today and sell tomorrow. So in that case, you can park the entire holding on a trading account. But yeah, more than that, you cannot park that. Otherwise, it will be raised cert against you. Why did you park the positions on a trading account for more than 2 days? That is what the regulator is there, and that is how they are surveillancing all the entire activities into the market, right? And even it's a violation of this trading rule as well. So you cannot park there. So it means it's mandatory to have their own demat account. So in this case, even the Blackstone also will have their own demat account. Even Axis required the same. Retail investor, suppose you and me are the retail investor who have participated into that event again, so we also required the demat account. Rock HNI investor also required demat account. So now see this. Let's say if we can allocate the securities here, the 20,000 purchase here, 20,000 purchase here, 10,000 purchase, and here 10,000 purchase. So it means the here the balance should be zero, correct? Because after all, so we have allocated balance or credited to this account. But who can do this entire mess up? Definitely, because if you have in our country, so we don't have any custodian, and if we have that, then definitely entire activities that should be done by the custodian, right? Because actually all the demands accounts are held with them or with the custodian. So what we can do, we can just send the instructions to the custodians. As an investor also, as a retail investor also, what we can do, we can just send the instructions to the custodian. Hey, please buy these securities. Hey, please sell these securities. So on a daily basis, they will have a, you know, trillions of transactions of a data with them. So they will have to review it thoroughly, and they will have to accordingly set up or offset the accounts with each other, because even buyer are also have a demat account, and even buyer is also with them, and even seller are also with them. And if the countries like UK and US, so they have given this authority to the banks like CT, then JP and other, right? So they are taking care of entire this activities, and that is what this the custodian come into picture. And now also my the question here is again, so here the the 10th, I hope your doubts is now getting to resolve, right? Suppose suppose if you announce corporate action here, then how can you manage this all the communications? Because actually your holdings, end holding is here somewhere, right, with the Blackstone, Axis Bank, retail investors, HNIs and all. But instead doing the business, why will you invest your time to communicate with them? But if you see all the holdings or all the investors have a demat accounts with the NSDL or CDSL. So you can easily directly just communicate to CDSL and NSDL. They will see, and even the this processing this benefit and all. So actually they will have to accept this benefits, right? And even because the dividend and dividend the cash benefits always processed to your bank accounts, not your demat account, right? And whenever the point about this corporate action, whether it could be stock split, reverse split, and all. So actually, this you required the authorization from the CDSL and NSDL. So in the case of, for example, let's say uh, stock split. So what are we doing here? We are actually replacing to the securities. So there are many. When we talk about US, there is a that the Swift platform, right? But that a retail investor they don't use it, and even that we cannot afford it. But the investor like yes investors or the big investors like Junjunwala and all, so they have to use it because their holding, their wealth, their everything is very high than us. Then even the mutual fund houses also they will have to use it because they're dealing with the investors' assets. So that is not their own money. So the Swift platform is there, but again, Swift is just the mode of communications which can help us to provide the financial communication to the respective counterparts who are involved in the business transaction or investment transaction. So another is if we talk about the UK region, there is the ClearPar platform is there or Crest is there. ClearPar or Crest or Euroclear, right? DTCC, Depository Trust Clearing Corporation. So these are the platforms. Okay, so where you can see the custodians, it's just a network. Okay, so they will have to open their account on that platform, so where they can easily access the entire things or buy and sell details easily. They can get the informations for that as well. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. But yeah, so still there are this the manual transactions or manual the things that happen when we talk about O2C market. Right, there is no platform, correct? There's the robust platform. You can't see that. So in that case, so almost 70% work that will have to done manually. We'll have to send the documents, loan agreements to the investors via FedEx and all. They will have to sign it. Once they signed it, then the respective again other counterparty will sign it, and after that the disbursement will happen. So once we're done with the signing process, then we can send the notification, or else we can send that agreement to the middleman or agent bank who is working as a middleman between you and us, and then we'll send that agreement to. But in the market, like, so yeah, so these are the platforms which are helping to the investment organizations to resolve their complex problems, right? Because the manual the task which takes more than 45 days to get it done, so it means there will be lots of delay in the process to get the trade settled on time. Because in every process what we are doing, actually we are settling the transactions. Take any example, including FX market, commodities. Ultimate goal is to buy something and sell something. We are not doing anything apart from that. And if you buy and sell something, so along with that, we tend to buy the cash flows as well, or the returns as well, or maybe the future exposure as well, right? So that things carry with the respective financial instrument. We are not doing anything apart from that. Hmm. Yeah, actually, they will have to provide it. Suppose if you're working, I don't want to reveal the name of organization, but let's say suppose you're working with X organization, okay, and suppose they have the platform like DTCC, and again it should the, and suppose you're dealing with the B company or C company. So you are here, let's say you are working with B and you're using the DTCC platform to get the details of the trades and all, right? To capture the trades, to enrich the trades, to validate the trades and all. Then again, B company also have a same platform. Then if they are using something different, then you cannot settle this trade via this platform. Simple. So that is what they will have to take the subscription of many option, many platforms. So in the same organization that you can see the DTCC, ClearPath, even the Euroclear, Mark it, right? Then there are Crest, yeah, Crest one, and there are many also, right? MDC something, the full form that I'm not able to recall at the moment. So these are the platforms. Okay, so they will have to carry the subscription for all. Even you can go their official site. Okay, you can even submit the inquiry, and they ask you questions like, are you the hedge fund house? Are you the mutual fund house? Are you so what business you have and all, right? So we'll have to fill that form, and then once you fill all the details there, and then they will call you directly. Hey, we provide this service, so do you want any help from us, or are you looking for this service, settlement service, trade processing service, or trading service, and all blah blah things. Okay, because I have done the same things. I have reached out to many organizations just to have information. Okay, so we'll have to subscribe that. Otherwise, we won't be able to. Then how can you see if you do? Suppose you don't have. Suppose here the B they don't have a DTCC. Instead DTCC they have a ClearPath. And let's say that A don't have a ClearPath. Then how can you settle this trade? As I mentioned, ultimately that we are going to settle the trade here. Okay, the point is, then how you say there are two ways. Suppose you have this platform, then it would easy to send the instructions or reach the instructions to that respective custodian, because ultimately we are going to do everything with your demat account, and your demat account is with custodian, and in India like NSDL, right? Correct. So then how can you communicate, or how can you reach out to your the custodian? Then how they will know you have traded something? So that is what the common platform is very important, and even that is also matter. So you're dealing with whom, right? So and before this opting the subscriptions for all these platforms, even suppose if you're investment manager, then you will have to take care of many things, because you will have to convince to your other the respective counterparts to mention that blah blah things and all. And even there are nowadays the external depositories also there, so who are actually helping us to do. And even this is also the job of the agent bank as well. But sometime what happens, suppose B don't have a this facility, but the agent bank between A and B, let's say C, they could be, right? Ultimately the agent bank, it means most of the time, so agent bank, it's they will work as a custodian and even as an agent also. Exactly. Even A has a account with C, and even B has a account with C. So, and ultimately, because everything that gonna be happen in the mat account, suppose here that you have buy something, let's say 2,000, 20,000 quantity. So it means that 20,000 quantities is available in your account, correct? At the moment in your account, let's say you are A in your account, in your demat account. But when you sell something, So it should be this. So you now the total balance should be your 0. But this should be credited somewhere, right? B is here, then B buy something. So it means, so that will have to, that is how it's work. But in this case, what you can do, you can send the instructions to, again B will send the instructions to the C, and A will again send the instructions to C. Even you can, now you have opportunity, so you can use this platform to send your confirmation to the custodian via the DTCC platform. But B don't have a facility, so what B can do, B can send the email to the C, the entity who is working as a custodian. Okay, so they will send the mail again. So they will have to, suppose you are working with custodian, then you will have to match the instructions against A and B. If it is matched, then you can debit and credit this quantity to the B's account, and then your trades will get executed. Okay, so every communication should be passed on to the custodian. Otherwise, they will not allow us to transfer that security. That is what we call, like, in every agreement that we can see the name of agent. It's not only agent, even sometime, yeah, in some cases that happen, custodian will be someone else and the agent will be someone else. It is not necessary to have a same entity as a custodian and same entity as a agent as well. It depends. If they have the custodian account, they will carry the same, right? There are a number of factor matters, like including custodian fees and safety and security. If the suppose the custodian is from the country like Syria or maybe the Afghanistan, right? Then nobody can trust on that custodian, and nobody can open their account with that the bank as well. But like the country like US, UK, then India, these are like stable countries, right? So everyone can open their demat account with their custodians if they have. So a number of factor matters, and then we decide whether we should open the demat account or not. Correct? So here also, if you see the stock split or if you see any events, so first of all, here in the case of old shares to new, it means actually we are replacing the shares. Replacing it means we'll have to, suppose here the balance is available in the all the accounts, so it means we'll have to debit and make it zero first of all, because this is an old holding that shouldn't be there in the account, and if it is there, then your the figure, the total figure goes wrong, right? That is what we'll have to make it zero first. If the balance is available, then make it zero and credit new quantities, because the stock split, it means actually we are splitting to the face value of a shares. Suppose previously we had a uh, 10 rupees face values, then now we are going to split into 10 portions. So it means, so that will be disposed actually. So why he will buy? So to replace a shares, it means that share that don't have a value. Actually, what we are doing here, we have splitted the value of a particular share, right? So as I mentioned, the previously before announcing the stock split, the face value of a particular share was around 10. Now we are going to reduce in the a portion, let's say 2. So it means now one shares has gonna be splitted into 5 shares, right? And when the face value changes, then we'll have to replace that, because so whatever shares are credited in the account of respective investors, their face value is around 10. All the old stock has a value, face value of a 10. We are not talking about market value. Market value something different, that even we don't look for any calculations, okay, while processing benefit. I'm talking about, not to calculate the returns and all. Okay, so in this case, the face value of the stock is 10, and now we are going to new securities with a face value of rupees 2, right? Here that the entire figure or the total amount of investment would be remain same, but the n number of quantities will be changed, because see here the quantity was around 20,000. So now you can see, so when after splitting it, so your quantities would be around 1 lakh, because for one security that we are going to offer 5, right? So how much it would be then, correct? So that is how it's work, and that is what the even we required permission from the custodian as well. Otherwise, they will not debit and credit this activity. And after all, they are there, so actually they will have to do it, and that is what the accounting come into picture, right? They are at a middle office. Custodian job is work at a middle office. So at as a middle ops, so we'll have to do that. We'll have to communicate with the respective investors. We will have to ask them to to provide the approval, and then accordingly you can make it zero, and then you can accept a new payment in their account, and you can post it that quantity in their account. So it will like, so in this case you will have to credit that quantity, and the debit quantity will be from the, so this main account. So which one is that? The HDFC's account. Okay, so they will have to debit the funds, because this quantity again will replace by the new shares. So once the new shares will be there, then again here also quantity will be changed, right? So that is how you can link entire activities with the custodian. Okay, because we don't have a custodian in India, that is what we are like. We guys are very confused about their functions and all. But as simple as that, the custodian, it means just custody. To take a custody, it means they are committing us to provide the safekeep services to our investment. That's it. Same example. Let's say if you have a views amount, right? Views amount, it means 2 crore, 3 crores, 5 crores. What do? Definitely you will approach the bank, and even you will deposit the fund into the bank's account, right? The same way, if you have a securities, then you will have to deposit somewhere. So you cannot carry that. If you carry that, if you lost the certificate, then you cannot recover that, right? The same way, if you torn that your the notes or currency, then nobody can. Then that currency won't be have a value. How can you then sell it and buy it? That is what the custodian plays a vital role in this entire process. Sometimes they work as an agent, even they sometimes work as a middleman, or what I would say, even sometimes they will work as a counterpart as well. Because when we talk about JP Morgan has several functions, including that custodian, then their marketing, promotion, fund accounting, hedge fund accounting, and many more. Right? Okay. So that is how the work. But see, the every, and again the question is from a processing point of view. Every platform has the same objective, same strategic goals to get the trade settled on a timely manner or due diligently, correct? Whether suppose you're working on a DTCC platform or ClearPower platform, Euroclear Market, Crest, what I mentioned, or MDC, or many more. So their internal functions could be different, but the same, the the other details, security details, counterparty details, amount, currency, everything will be remained same. There won't be change in the process of settling the trades, or processing the trades, or capturing the trades, maybe to communicating the trades and all. So you don't need to bother about it. I haven't worked on DTCC, so how would I see? If you have your own demand account, you can go there and check it. How can you place the request for buy and sell? If you can do that, then it means the same types of the functions even you can see with this applications as well. I have worked on DTCC, I have worked on ClearPower, Euroclear, Market, Crest, Swift, right? So nothing is like that. It's just the platform for a platform built for a provide this trade information. But ultimately, so two ways trades get settled. Okay, so this is also important. These are just platforms, they are providing information to us. So who is the buyer and who is the seller, what is quantity, what is price, what is the rest of the blah blah things, correct? But the one trade, suppose if trade happened, so here that I would say, so trade happened, it means, or trade settled, it means actually we'll have to record that particular trades in the books of account of that particular entity. Let's say you have buy something here. So you will have to settle this trade or make the record or enter the data in your system also. right? So one, the trade will be settled on the here, who is the seller. So the another trade will be settled or recorded in the books of B's account and as well as in the books of A's account as well. Okay, and if the custodian or middleman is there in between that, then also they will have to mention or record or the carry this information with them as a part of accounting. Okay, so trade accounting, you can say hedge fund accounting, you can say dividend accounting, you can say call anything that you want, right? So here also, but here like when you make the entry or the record of that particular trade, so you don't need to put the entire details. What you can do, just with the security details you have purchased from someone who is the who is the seller, that you can mention the details in your books of account. That's it. Correct, because ultimately the amount will be debited and the quantity will be credited. Correct. So in that case, just we need a counterpart who is the seller, and that is we need to carry in the books of account. But actually, this trade will also recorded on your internal platform. Internal, it means suppose you are working with a organization, so they will have their own accounting platform, internal accounting platform, where you can record this all the transactions, and one which would be with the even with this the custodian, but custodian they will have to carry the records for A and B. So here they will have to maintain in this way who is the buyer and who is the seller. So they will have to settle the trades in the A's account as well as B's account as well. If the buyer, in the case of buyer, they will have to credit the quantity and debit the amount. Debit the quantity and credit the fund. Correct? So the two ways trades get settled, and even this process we can call like shadow accounting as well. Okay, because we are shadowing to the our counterparties. We are creating a records on behalf of or on behalf of the counterparty as well, just to have another record with us, so you can easily avoid the trade discrepancy or other uh, the any future escalations and all. How can you avoid it? Because suppose if trade happened and the trade happened with the incorrect price as well, so you have a record with another two organizations. One is with who is the seller, and another is with the agent bank as well, or custodian, that you can say. So you can easily reach out to them and get it sorted out, that particular discrepancy, and even you can settle it out again or amend it as per that. Even settlement process is also your accounting process. Even I have mentioned that in the last discussion also. Once you settle it, it means you are creating the first accounting entry in your books of account, and the rest whatever thing happens, that we are just shadowing or just we are creating for our own tracing purpose. So where we at, right? And in the settlement, actually we are debiting something or actually we are crediting something. It means that is the first stage of your journal entries. Actually we are creating our journal entries, and even actually we are crediting or actually we are even creating the main ledger and sub ledger. Correct? Okay, so I hope now your doubt has been resolved, so whatever you had. Okay, so any question? Okay, that is also a very good question. Mark to market, correct? Am I right? Okay, so mark to market. Any idea what is mark to market? I would like to hear something from you on this part. Mhm, mhm. You're almost there. Okay, let's see. So what I'll bring new or different than you. Okay, so M to M, it means mark to market. If you want the background history of this M2M, then would like to discuss about the situation of the United States and even UK as well. Okay, in 2008 or before that, what had happened there? There wasn't this M2M concept. So it means, so investment houses or the investors were not, or the regulators. So this is actually very important from a regulator point of view. Okay, they were not able to trace to the investment, so where they are or where they at this point of time, or what is the situations of the investment. And why this is important? When you signed a number of derivative contracts, when you signed a number of obligations, then how can you trace to your returns as well if there is no any benchmark is decided? How can you trace to it? How can you calculate your daily returns? Right, for example, tomorrow there is a the unrealized gain which is are in the account, which is 100, and let's say tomorrow that is around 120. So how can you trace to it? How can you calculate it? So whether you are in a profit or loss, if there is no mark to mark situation. So once they seen this, this entire mess up in this industry, and then announce, so we need to have a benchmark, because after great recession exploded in the United Nations economy, and then they came out with the solution like mark to market. If you are dealing with the financial products, not only the limited with the derivative contracts and equity, but any product including mortgage and even including your insurance product as well, so we need to have a benchmark which can define the mark to market value of an investment. Correct. And the another way is why this is important. If you want to know the realistic value of your investment, so it means you need to have a M to M mark to market parameter in place. Otherwise, you won't be able to calculate the realistic or real value of your investment. So do you agree? Okay. Then next. So up to mark to market, what is meant by mark? Very important to market. Mark means it's an acquisition cost. Even you can call purchase price. Even you can call, because this names differs with the different financial products. So that is what those names also important. Acquisition cost, purchase price, agreed cost, original amount, or else investment amount at the end, or invested value. These are the different names, and these are the mark. Actually, mark, it means it's a level of investment at the what time you have entered into that particular investment and what was the value, right? And market, it means current value of an investment. mark to market. Correct? So it's not necessary to take. It depends on the procedure. Okay. So in case of NAV calculation, suppose we are calculating the NAV of a on a daily basis, then we'll calculate the M2M on a daily basis as well. Suppose we are calculating the value of an investment on a monthly basis, then we'll have to calculate the M2M on a monthly basis. It depends. It seems work like a NAV, right? When you produce the report for NAV, the same report that goes to the regulators as well. So actually, they will have to check it, so whether so this M2M is in loss or profit. Suppose at the time of purchase of a unit of a mutual fund, let's say the price was around $12, and suppose it's today is the month end and we are calculating the NAV of this entire month, correct? And let's say so today's NAV is $8. So in this case, your M2M mark to market would be in loss. There are two types of M2M: profit. Correct? So anyone will have to mention that on a report as well. If you are preparing the reports for XYZ fund, or maybe XYZ securities, or maybe XYZ insurance, or maybe XYZ. So we'll have to mention that. So today or at the end of the month, when we have a calculated this M2M, so the M2M which is in loss actually. Okay. And why this is important to the regulator? This is also concern, right? This is also important that we should know. As I mentioned, because the regulator is responsible to maintain the rigor in the operations. Okay, so when the regulator sees that the M2M is not, which is at a par or not, which is because M2M, it if it sorry, if it is in a profit, then that is fine. There is no concern about it. There is nothing to bother about it. And the intention of this M2M is to protect to the investor's wealth. Okay, and let's say if it is in a loss, so then it means, and if it's continuously happen this or report this the negative uh, figure to the that particular regulators, so then they will have to schedule an audit on that particular investment. So they will have to actually check it, so whether if it is the investment, whatever or wherever that you have invested, that is in a actually you have followed the the standard procedure or not. Sometime that happen, right? Suppose you are a hedge fund manager and I'm like the the XYZ company, and let's say you are very close to me. I called to you and requested that why don't you invest in my company, so I'll provide 40% profit to you, right? And actually there wasn't anything in my business, or my business, actually the business was like the forge. I had provided all the forge document to you, and finally it will lead to the even scandal, right? And ultimately that money is from the investors, that is the investors hard earned money, so you cannot play with that money, right? So that is what this regulator enacted, this M2A mark to market regulations in place to verify all the investments and the other procedures if they want. And that is what sometime even you can see the stocks as well. So a regulator announce the ASM list, additional surveillance monitoring, when they feel like this prices has been changed drastically, or increased by 200%, 300%, so they will allocate that stock to the ASM, additional monitoring list. And if they feel like there was a fall in the price up to 100%, 200%, 300%, again in that case also they will have to move this particular stock in the ASM category, additional monitor surveillance. So they will actually examine all the situations about that particular security. or maybe that mutual fund units, or maybe that particular scheme and all. And if you found guilty, then it will lead to, so you can be penalized as a manager, or else your license can be cancelled. And when we talk about the United Kingdoms, so they have a GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. So you cannot violate this rule. And if you violate this, then it means like then it will like hell situation for you. They charge around 20 million euros as a penalty, and your license will be barred or cancelled for permanently. So that is how. Okay, so M2M works. So importantly, the M2M is for investor actually to know their real wealth, and to real value of their investment. Okay, that is what it is. Just a reporting template that we follow. The same applications, whatever that you are using to maintain the data, the same applications help us to calculate the M2M. That's it. Because so what here to do is, like, suppose if you earned, let's say in this case, the three situations would be there, right? M2M, it is at par, M2M is at loss, and M2M is at profit. So when you pull the report, even report or any system that shows the same figures, that don't need any additional you know application to calculate it. Because if your the NAV of a particular product, or maybe the the price of a particular securities, if it is down, so you can see that on a broker exchange platform as well, right? So I'll show you my account, then you will have idea. Two, 5, 6, 5, 9. Okay, 5969, 5969. Hmm. So damn it. Never, that I don't want. And the fuck. Hmm. Shit. Say this. So here that you can see in the holding section. See the loss in my account is right. So this is a total investment, which is the invested value, right? 70,000. And this is the current value. So it means my account is in actually loss, right? So how can you calculate it? Mark, it means it's a price or acquisition cost. The acquisition cost of my portfolio is 70,000, but the actual value of my portfolio is around 60. So it means, so in this case, the M2M mark to market is in loss actually 3%, 4%, right? So that system gives the figures to us. And even you can calculate individually stock wise also. Let's see for happiest mind, right? For happiest mind, the stock is in profit. So it means this the particular M2M is in profit. Even you can see this for as well. KPIT. For a KPIT also, the stock is in or that match or the fulfill the M2M category. But for this, the Renuka Industries and other the VB made and also in that case, we'll have to monitor it. And even we don't need to monitor it. If you can see the losses, then you can send this report. Actually, this is a reporting part. Okay, so they want a report to check whether the why the shares prices or unit prices has been decreased or increased. That is what that the parameter is enabled or announced, right? That happened, and the same applies to the mutual fund as well. Same applies to the derivative contracts as well. Sometime in a derivative contracts, the prices of a derivative, and even from this help us to take the even investment decisions as well. So on the basis of that, we can decide whether we should stay in the contract or this particular security or not. Because the mark price, so see this for this particular security, the mark price is around 36.93 and the current price or the market price is around 27.19. If there is no mark to market, then how can I calculate my the rate, sorry, the net profit or net loss for this particular security? So the mark price is around 36.93 and the market price is around 27.94. Once I'll debit or I'll the minus the market price from the mark price or the acquisition cost, then we'll have a net mark to market. So on the basis of that, I'll decide. So now this particular stock is around 25% loss, right? Then I'll decide whether I should stay in the stock or not. So I'll leave it. The same way that regulator also want the same details. Why this particular stock is in loss, right? So they want to review it just to avoid any further circumstances or the situation like where the later on the company will announce the bankruptcy and all. The same thing happened now that the latest example that we have Evergrande, which is one of the largest the real estate sector company or infrastructure sector company that is from China actually. They have declared or announced as a bankruptcy. So many market intelligencers they are saying that. So now we are we we had an example about the Lehman and Brothers in the history, right? The same examples which is replicate to the Lehman Brothers. This the Evergrande scandal. And why? Just because they could not monitor their activity through this parameter M2M. Because M2M will help us to understand or to get the realistic value. It means actual real value of our investment. That's it. Simple. Realistic means real value, not the hypothetical value. For example, what would be the value of next 5 years or 10 years and all? Not like that. What is the real value on a real time basis? Correct? Okay. So, any doubts? Okay. So, at least we have clear two concepts. That's fine. चलो कम से कम हम्म हम्म देखो everyone have their own stories about the Lehman and Brothers. But the eventually what happened is so even they also signed the lots of derivative contracts or the collateralized debt obligations with their respective counterparts. But unfortunately, their the issuers or the counterparty who have signed the contract with them, both the counterparties default at the same time on their payments due to global financial crisis or emergency, that I would say. बाकी स्टोरीज कुछ भी बनाओ, अल्टीमेटली तो यही है कि जिसने, देखो तुमने घर लिया, तुमने घर लेने के बाद लोन लेते हो तुम, करेक्ट? अभी लोन लेने के बाद दो सिचुएशन है उस पे कि आपने लोन लिया, आपने घर जो लिया है लोन पे लिया है, अभी तुम्हारा तो सब कुछ अच्छे से चल रहा है, बट सडनली जॉब गया मार्केट से, क्या करोगे? बैंक तो तीसरे महीने तुम्हारे घर आके बोले कि भाई पैसा दे दो। बैंक के पास तुमने घर अपना सरेंडर कर लिया, फिर बोला कि मुझे नहीं चाहिए। ऐसे कितने, अगर समझो कि बैंक के पास ऐसे 10 लाख कस्टमर है, 10 लाख कस्टमरों ने यही किया, यानी कि आप भी डिफॉल्ट बने, लेटर ऑन बैंक भी डिफॉल्ट बनेगा, वो भी उसके पास पैसा ही नहीं जाएगा तो घर को क्या करेगा, वो प्रॉपर्टी को लेके क्या करेगा वो? तो यानी कि ये हुआ यहाँ पे कि जिसने, एंड ये तो देखो ये तो नॉर्मल स्टेज पे हुआ, जो हमने बात कही ना कि उन्होंने स्ट्रक्चर्ड फाइनेंस, मॉर्गेज इज ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड फाइनेंस, ठीक है, उन्होंने क्या किया कि इस सिचुएशन को अवॉइड करने के लिए उन्होंने ही नहीं, हर एक बैंक ने किया, हर एक बैंक की सेम स्टोरी है, उनके साथ थोड़ा सा पॉलिटिकली गवर्नमेंट ने सपोर्ट नहीं किया, गवर्नमेंट ने सबको बेल आउट पैकेजेस दिए, उनको थोड़ा सा कम दिया, उसमें वो मैनेज नहीं कर पाए, कई सारे स्टोरीज है उसमें, ये ओरल ऐसे जो हम देखते हैं ना उतना ही, जितना हम ब्लॉग में पढ़ते उतना ही हमें पता है, बट इनसाइड स्टोरी दैट इज समथिंग डिफरेंट। जैसे कि अभी जो हम बोलते हैं ना कि जेपी मॉर्गन इज वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट बैंक, उनकी भी स्टोरी देखना, हर एक बैंक पूरी डूबी हुई थी, सब बैंकों की नैया डूबी हुई थी, नॉट ओनली लेमन्स एंड ब्रदर्स, बट कुछ कुछ बैंकों ने जो जिसका पोर्टफोलियो थोड़ा सा डायनामिक था, एसेट एलोकेशन डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एसेट्स में था, जिनके पास थोड़ा सा कैश फ्लो स्ट्रांग था, वो बैंक्स निकल के ऊपर आ गए, एंड बाकी के जितने भी बैंक्स थे पूरे के पूरे बैंक्स सो रहे थे। उसी के साथ एक नाम है, आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकॉल एट द मोमेंट, लीमन ब्रदर्स के साथ तीन बैंक्स अभी भी है वो सेम सिचुएशन में डूब रहे, वो धीरे धीरे करके मर रहे। लीमन एंड ब्रदर्स के साथ एक स्ट्रैडेंट समथिंग है, एंड अदर अनदर वन नेम दैट आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकॉल। जब मैं एक केस स्टडी पूरी पढ़ रहा था तब मैंने देखा तीन बैंक्स हैं। तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि पहला तो जो बायर है वो डिफॉल्ट हुआ, फिर खुद इश्यूअर डिफॉल्ट होने आया, क्योंकि ये बायर्स पूरे पैसा ही नहीं देंगे लोन का तो क्या होगा, राइट? सो सेकंड थिंग ये हुई कि जिनके साथ इन्होंने इस क्रेडिट सीडीएस, पता है ना, सीडीएस साइन किया हुआ था, क्रेडिट डिफॉल्ट स्वैप जो उसने साइन किया हुआ था, अभी ये क्या करते हैं, ये तो इश्योर है तो ये अपना लोन बचाने के लिए, यानी कि जो पूरी प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट बचाने के लिए उसने क्या किया कि प्रीमियम पे करना चालू कर दिया। किनको पे करना चालू कर दिया कि जो ऐसी बैंक, लेट से अभी लेमन ब्रदर्स है तो उसने जेपी मॉर्गन को पे करना चालू कर दिया, या फिर कोई भी हो सकता है, जरूरी नहीं कि जेपी हो, ठीक है, उसने चालू करना चालू कर दिया, बट सेम टाइम पे जेपी, जब ये सिचुएशन आई तो जेपी भी डिफॉल्ट हुआ। अभी ये बायर पैसे नहीं दे रहा बोल के उन्होंने जेपी के पास गए, बोला कि भाई अभी बायर पैसे नहीं दे रहा है, जो हम तुम्हें प्रीमियम इसलिए तो पे कर रहे हैं ना, जैसे कि हुआ मानो कि हमने कोई इंश्योरेंस ले लिया, इंश्योरेंस लिया, समझो टर्म इंश्योरेंस ले लिया, टर्म इंश्योरेंस में होता है ना कि हम लोग पैसे पे करते ताकि अगर हमारे साथ कुछ इफ एनी इवेंट हैपन विद आवर लाइफ, so insurance company will be entitled to process the benefit to the nominee or else to us, right, if it is that in an agreement. But at the time of maturity, let's say that the insurance company has become insolvent, so that situation that we call it default, they are default on the payment, so it means they are not in a position to process the payment to us. Then what can we do now? We can't do anything. The same way ये भी डिफॉल्ट हो गए, यानी कि पूरे बैंक्स, जो मैंने कहा ना, इसलिए तो कहा कि ये एक किसी एक बैंक को झटका नहीं लगा है जितने भी मार्केट्स में बैंक थे पूरे के पूरे बैंकों को हुआ, जिसके साथ उन्होंने प्रीमियम देकर जो अपनी रिस्क मिटिगेट की थी, वो बंदा भी यू नो डूब गया, एंड बायर भी डूब गया, तो बचा ये था इश्योर, ये भी डिफॉल्ट हो गया। ये इसलिए डिफॉल्ट हुआ ताकि देखो, जब भी पैसा तुम किसी का लेते हो बिजनेस चलाने के लिए, एक बहुत बढ़िया प्रोडक्ट है, मैं ये आप डिस्कस नहीं करूंगा, ये कल डिस्कस करूंगा तुम्हारे साथ, इसी से रिलेटेड करूंगा। तुम्हें इंटरेस्ट भी आएगा इसमें। एंड इसी को तुम, इसी की वजह से तुम ये जो है ना डेरिवेटिव मार्केट, डेरिवेटिव स्वैप्स, ये पूरा इन डेप्थ ऐसे समझोगे चीज़ें कि कैसे काम करती है। तो हम सी डी एस, टी आर एस, जितने भी स्वैप्स अग्रीमेंट्स है, इनको कोलेक्ट करके स्टडी करेंगे। तो में मज़ा आएगा उसमें। तो एंड उसमें हम ये भी डिस्कस करेंगे, याद रहे, एम बी एस एंड ए बी एस, एसेट बैक एंड सिक्योरिटीज एंड मॉर्गेज बैक एंड सिक्योरिटीज। ठीक है, अगर चाहिए तो इसके बारे में पढ़ना, नहीं पढ़ोगे तो भी कोई बात नहीं है। मैं मेरे पास कुछ है मटेरियल्स, तो आई फॉरवर्ड इट। ये थोड़ा सा लोन मार्केट रिलेटेड है, मार्केट के टाइप्स है वहाँ पे, तो उसके रिलेटेड है मेरे पास मटेरियल, तो मैं वो भेज दूंगा। एंड वो अनदर मटेरियल जो है कॉर्पोरेट एक्शंस का, सॉरी हेज फंड का वगैरह, वो भेज दूंगा मैं, वो भी पढ़ लेना, वो इम्पोर्टेंट। ठीक है, तो ये अपन डिस्कस करेंगे, ये इंटरेस्टिंग है पार्ट। ठीक है, ओके मैन, चलो। कवर हो रहे हैं ना कॉन्सेप्ट, लग रहा है ना कि कुछ सीख रहे हो, या फिर अनदर वे हम अपन चेंज चेंज कर सकते हैं मेथोडोलॉजी या द वे ऑफ टीचिंग टू यू। हम्म। आ, देखो चीजें ना, आई आई डोंट लाइक इवन टू मेक इट कॉम्प्लेक्स। ओके, देर इज अ व्यूज लीगेसी एंड कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी विच इज इन्वॉल्व इन द इन्वेस्टमेंट इंडस्ट्री, बट उसको हमें नहीं देखना है। हम उस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को कैसे इजीली कन्वर्ट करके सीखने की कोशिश करना चाहिए। तुम्हारा कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड हो जाता है, तो ऑटोमेटिकली चीज़ें वर्कआउट करने लगती है, तो तुम्हें समझने लगता है, फिर ऑटोमेटिकली उसके ऊपर तुम्हारा कंट्रोल आ जाता है। बट चीज़ें ऐसी है कि मैं कहीं से भी ऐसे कैलकुलेशंस के रूल्स निकाल के लेके आ रहा हूँ, अभी तो उतनी लिगेसी बची ही नहीं है जो हम बॉन्ड्स के लिए यील्ड्स वगैरह कैलकुलेट करते हैं। कहाँ हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं सिस्टम में जाके, बताओ मुझे। अब ये सिस्टम में तुम डेट डालो, टाइप सेलेक्ट करो, कौन सा है सेटलमेंट डेट सेलेक्ट करो, तुम्हें पूरा अक्रूड इंटरेस्ट के हर चीज़ मिलेगी वहाँ पे कैलकुलेट करके। राइट, तो वो चीज़ें हमें, यही चीज़ें समझना है कि बस हमें इसलिए समझना है कि नॉलेज होना चाहिए उन सब के ऊपर, क्योंकि हम अल्टीमेटली अगर सिस्टम हमारा गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन दे, तो हमें पता होना चाहिए कि कैसे कैलकुलेट होता है, तब हम जाके सिस्टम को कहीं ना कहीं सही करा सकते हैं। क्योंकि हमारा जॉब इसलिए यहाँ पे, हर जो चीज़ प्रोसेस हो रही है, बाय और सेल हो रही है, जो भी हो रही है, वो सही से हो, इतना ही जॉब है। बाकी इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं, हमारा काम कुछ भी नहीं, मतलब कुछ भी नहीं। उसी को मॉनिटर करना है, रिव्यू करना है, प्रोसेस करना है, एंड जो भी एंड यूजर है, जो भी एंड कस्टमर है, इन्वेस्टर है, उन तक वो चीज जाके पहुंचानी है। ओके, चलो मैं तुम्हें मटेरियल भेज रहा हूँ, उसको रीड करिए, फिर अपन कल मिलते हैं। कल मॉर्निंग में ज्वाइन हो जाए, अर्ली मॉर्निंग, जैसे कि 9:30 to 10:30। हाँ, तो तुम्हें भी बाकी का रेस्ट डे टेंशन लेने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, फिर तुम भी फ्री हो सकते हो। 9:30 to 10:30 करेंगे अपन, ठीक है, और एक्सटेंड होता है। हाँ, सुबह सुबह सुबह, अर्ली मॉर्निंग। ओके, चलो मोहम्मद, नाइस टू टॉक टू यू मैन, विल सी यू देन इन नेक्स्ट सेशन। I'll, yeah, share this link for this recording as well, so you can